Hi, my name is Augusto. I live in Jamaica Plain, Massachusetts. And my story is I was actually born in Boston when my parents were here training. They're both physicians, and my father was a very driven man, and when he finished, he knew that he wanted to be a big fish, and he thought staying in the United States would make him just one of the fishes in a very big pond. So he went back home to the Philippines, to Manila, where he was then the big fish in a little pond, and he was very happy with that, and that's where I grew up. I came to the United States in 1988 after I finished medical school and a year of internship, and after taking my board exams over there. The plan was for me to do my residency training and my fellowship training in the same area as my father, and I would go back to the Philippines and work with him and take over his practice eventually. So I got to Brooklyn, New York, and I stayed there. I was there for 3 years. I was doing an internal medicine residency, and it was it was initially very difficult because it was the first time I had been that far away from family, but I eventually adapted. In my internship class, we were probably, I would say it was really multinational class. I think there were 2 Caucasians, but the rest were from Syria, from India, from Pakistan. There were 2 of us from the Philippines, 1 Korean and several other nationalities. After finishing my residency, I had decided that I was interested in other things than my father's specialty. So I ended up doing another specialty, a different specialty. I went to Morgantown, West Virginia. And I think that is where I really realized that, you know, it was a different world for me. Most people outside of the university were Caucasian, were white. Most of our patients, in fact, probably 99% of our patients were white. And there were some interactions that, let's just say, were not very pleasant. But, you know, you get to realize that sometimes you have to open up the minds and the minds of other people. And I think in the end, that was a very good experience for me. I then ended up back in Boston after I did another fellowship, a research fellowship training. Although Boston was, I would say, you know, a melting pot of cultures, you could feel an undercurrent also of not belonging and not being one of the boys, I would say. I think part of it was obviously not being of a Caucasian race, but also not having gone through the training in Boston. I was considered for the longest time an outsider. So I think those things, but those experiences, I think, just help you, in at least the way I used them, made me stronger and made me strive to work harder and try to be more successful. So I think that's been my motto in life, that nothing's gonna drag me down, and that whatever experience I have, I just keep pushing on and do what I think is right and what's right for me and my family.
Yes.
Take 2.
No, that was awesome.
Good, really, really good.